Hi, Spence here. Bob has asked me to take a look at formations in walking football. It's something I've given consideration to as a coach and as a player, and I'm sure there's far better football brains than mine who have looked at this, and generally everybody's come up with the same conclusion, that the one at the back, central midfield, wide right, wide left, and sole striker is considered probably the best formation. And it's relative to the 11-a-side game, this is probably a similar sort of setup. You probably have 2 or 3 at the back, 5 in the midfield, maybe a couple of strikers or one just playing the 10 role. And this probably is similar to that sort of setup. So why would we set up like this? This is the England setup, by the way. Why would we set up like this? What's the thinking behind it? Well, I think the main thing is, as we've said, the midfield area is this place where games are generally won or lost. At any type of football, any level of football, getting domination in the midfield will generally give you the right to control the game and go on and perhaps win it. So in this situation then, we've got central midfield, right and left. It gives us the width we need. So when we get possession, these guys need to go as wide as they can. And of course, what you're doing with that width is stretching play, opening gaps for balls to be played through. And this is really the nub of this game, trying to get balls early, forward, into feet, and give yourself maximum chance of scoring goals. The more delayed this ball is up front, the bigger chance the defence has got of getting back into place, surrounding that semicircle. And as we all know who've played it, sometimes it's a real job trying to get past that. So speed is of the essence. And this sort of width and numbers in midfield will certainly help us to get that. One at the back, obviously, you know, this is my role for Chelmsford in England, that centre midfield role. And I know darn well as soon as the ball is lost, I'm back, goal side of my man, whoever he may be. If he goes off and he's picked up by somebody else, then I'm looking for somebody else to pick up. That's the way it goes. So in a way, I spend a lot of my time defending, as anyone in that position will tell you. So as soon as you lose it, you become a defensive midfielder. As soon as you get it, then you're up there supporting. So that centre guy, again, no different to what you get in the 11-a-side. Those midfield players who will support the attack, they're the first one up there for a knockback and a shot. And as soon as the ball's lost, they're back goal side, looking to defend and help out the defence in that centre midfield area. So what alternatives have we got? Well, let's take these blues off. Let's have a little look. We'll work with the yellows now. What alternatives? Okay, got to have a defender, so we've got to have at least one. Got to have at least one striker. So what are we going to do with the remainder? If we're not going to have 3 in midfield, we want something different. You could have 2 at the back. Okay, so we've got 2 in midfield. What do we think? Look what they've got to cover between them, as opposed to 3 in midfield. So if they're up against 3 in midfield, all these guys have got to do is pull wide. These then have got to cover huge areas. You know, it becomes an almost impossible task. Whoever they're not marking, he's spare, he's available. That is the last thing you want. So unless you're matched up 3 versus 3, 2 in the midfield for me, and most people who follow the game, it just isn't going to work. And similarly, if you had 2 forwards up there, again, you're leaving yourself short in this midfield area. So I think what I'm trying to say, in perhaps a long-winded way, is whatever happens, 3 in midfield is the way to go. I can't see any way around that. 1 at the back, because obviously if you have 2 at the back, you've got no one up front, and 2 up front, you've got no one at the back. So really, just to conclude, this is the obvious way to do it, and hence why we do it at Chelmsford City and at England level.